What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Tuesday evening's Anfield Agenda News Roundup. Over the course of this video, we're going to be taking you through the latest on Trent's move to Real Madrid. Will it happen early, and how much might Liverpool receive if it does? We're going to be talking about Bryan Mbeumo and some admittance from their own club captain at Brentford that he could well depart this summer. Then we're going to go through some links to forwards, which I think we can rule out, but there is one on the list I think what we can say is safely a target. That and Kelleher's future. Where will he end up, and how much can Liverpool expect? That and lots more to come over the next few minutes. I will be back tonight at 8:45 for the late night agenda, where we'll go through it all in more detail. But until then, you know what to do. Comments, like, subscribe. Happy days. Thank you, folks. Let's get cracking into the news. Right, so the Mirror, and credit Anfield Edition for this post as well. The Mirror say, this might well have been the hardest decision of Trent Alexander-Arnold's life, but it is one that has been meticulously planned. And they go on to say that, in truth, it was probably sorted last summer. Now, I've spent the last 24 hours, like everybody else, trying to read and find out as much information on this as I can. And you see varying degrees of when people believe this was sorted. Some people think it was March when he went into Arne Slot's office during the international break and informed the manager of his decision. Reports coming from Spain have suggested that it was done in December, and now we've got the Mirror saying in truth it was probably planned last summer. For what it's worth, if you want my 2 cents on this, I'm going to go back even further. I read a piece earlier on the Echo that suggested something that we'd all been thinking for the last while, that this could have been planned as far back as Trent's last contract extension. Going back to that time, Alisson Becker signed a 6-year deal, Robbo signed a 5-year deal, Van Dijk and Henderson signed a 4-year deals, but they were 30 at the time, so they weren't going to get longer deals. But Trent Alexander-Arnold insisted on just signing a 4-year deal back then instead of the 5-year deal. Why is that important? Well, the 4 years took him right up to what would be him starting to enter his prime right now. So was this planned in advance? Maybe we'll never know, but it certainly feels like Trent knew what he was doing all the way through this process. And for what it's worth, I do think it started probably 2 years ago. Now, talk between the two clubs, Liverpool and Real Madrid, according to Paul Joyce, took place on Monday evening, a mere few hours after Trent Alexander-Arnold publicly confirmed that he would be not signing a new deal with his boyhood club. We talked to you guys last night about, well, the post from Liverpool Football Club. One for Divock Origi when he was departing, which was wishing him well and thanking him for everything. And the other one saying that Trent's contract is up at the end of the year and that's when he'll depart. But they said he will depart when his contract ends, not that they'll be letting him go early. So what is happening with that one? Real Madrid have approached Liverpool about Trent and trying to sign him early before the Club World Cup, reports Sky Sports. And you're going to see various reports saying this. They want him to go and play in the Club World Cup. We know that. Club World Cup starts June 15th. Now, how badly do they need him is one question that comes up a lot. And probably not that much, because the knockout stage of the Club World Cup doesn't start until July, and that's when Trent's contract at Liverpool would be up. So, what do Liverpool do in this situation? Do they release Trent early from his contract, which would get through a few headaches? One, it would stop any, well, awkward moments at Anfield, let's say, or on the parade. And two, well, it would just get rid of him early and maybe bring in a few quid. So we will talk about that in a moment. But while we're going through the list of places Trent has been banned from in Liverpool because Pop World had their say, well, now Currys, yep, that's right, the electrics retailer, they as well have said banned from all Curry stores in Liverpool. So there you go. People really not letting this one go. This piece here said that Trent's move was finalised in December from Dario AS over in Spain, like I've mentioned previously. I think, for what it's worth, it was at least 2 years ago that this started. But this piece here from Sami Mokbel, BBC, said Real Madrid are considering an offer to Liverpool of about €1 million or £850,000 to release him early from his Liverpool deal. Now, I really don't know what's best to do here. I think the money should be irrelevant, if that's okay. If we can just push aside the 850 grand for a second. For me, getting rid of him will solve a lot of problems. Liverpool have nothing to play for the rest of the season. Bradley can play at right back, and it would allow Trent to, I guess, depart early. But Other people who aren't as angry about the Trent situation, probably want a chance to say goodbye to him. So I'm going to leave this one up to the club. Let me know what you guys think. What would you do in the comments? Would you take the €1 million or £850,000 to allow him early, maybe letting him go immediately? Or would you like to see him have his final goodbye at Anfield, be on the parade bus, and then head off to Madrid? Either way, let me know what you'd like to see in the comments, because I honestly don't know which way to go. I don't want them on the pitch again between now and the end of the season, but, you know, I guess if Trent wanted to stay and say goodbye, I could understand that as well, as much as I'd rather he just disappeared. Right, so let's move on now to speak about Kellaher. As promised at the start of the video, I'm going to let you know about some interest in him from... I'm not going to let you go, by the way, just yet. Sorry for that one. I'm going to let you know about some interest in him. So this piece here said that Newcastle are leading the race for a signature and are willing to offer around £25 million or €30 million. I think Newcastle would be a very good move for Kellaher. I think the fans would love him up there. That's a transfer fee that I absolutely believe Liverpool could live with. Remember, he only has 1 year to go, Kellaher, on his Liverpool deal. So letting him go for £25 million with 1 year to go, having already brought in Georgie really for similar or less money, I think this would be one that would suit everybody. But again, I don't know what Kellaher wants to do with regards to what club maybe works best for him. Newcastle could be in the Champions League. Newcastle certainly a club on the rise. So, yeah, for that one, for me, price tag works. Destination sounds like a good one for Queeveen. But let me know in the comments what you think. Would you like to see him at Newcastle? Would you like to see him maybe Leeds United, who look like they need a keeper and are promoted? Or is there somewhere else? Maybe you think outside the Premier League would be better. I just feel like, you know, this is one of those transfers that just suits everybody. Queeveen deserves to play first team football and be a starter week in and week out. We have the best goalkeeper in the world at the club, so I think everybody will just wish Queeveen well with whatever it is that he does next, and as long as he doesn't go to one of the Manchester clubs, I think we'll all be fine. Oh, and the other lot in Liverpool, he's not going to go across to the blue side either. So let's talk about the list of strikers that I said at the start of the video have been linked to Liverpool by Graham Bailey, and I'm going to say that I don't think 3 of these 4 names are realistic ones for varying reasons. So this piece here said, Isak is still Liverpool's top striker target this summer, but they have other options. So the Isak part, no problem with. The other options part, Victor Gyökeres, Hugo Ekitike, Liam Delap and Victor Osimhen. So Gyökeres, I've always been told Liverpool have no interest in. 1, because of his age. 2, because he hasn't proven himself in a high enough league. So that one, I think, personally, I would rule out. Hugo Ekitike, of course, that one makes sense. Liverpool and Arsenal and lots of other clubs have been linked to him. But will the price tag be too much? Well, let's wait and see. Liam Delap, I believe, will head to Chelsea, from my understanding. Manchester United are trying for him, but I don't think he's on Liverpool's radar. And Victor Osimhen, I just don't believe, full stop. I just don't think he'd be a good fit. I don't think he would suit the way Liverpool want to play. And I don't believe that Liverpool have a sincere interest in him. But of the 3 that I've ruled out, Victor Osimhen would be the one that I would have the least amount of information on personally. So that one maybe put a question mark beside it. But I'm very confident that we won't be signing Victor Gyökeres or Liam Delap, whatever our own wishes may be. So the last one, I mentioned about Bryan Mbeumo and the fact that his own club captain believes he'll depart this summer, and that is exactly what Christian Norgard has said. He believes Bryan Mbeumo is likely to leave the club this summer after a stellar season for the Bees. Himself and Visa have had a brilliant season, and look, I'll lay my cards on the table. I love Bryan Mbeumo at Liverpool. I think a fee of about £60 million would probably be asked. I think he's worth every penny of that personally. 24, 25 years of age, Premier League tried and tested, and as I keep mentioning, a real hard worker, and one that I think Arne Slot would get along very well with and would definitely find a place for in the Liverpool setup. So that is it for now, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back tonight, 8:45, with the late night agenda. Hope you can join us for it, although I know you will have watched the first half of the Inter Milan-Barcelona game. Hope you can come and join me after that. Much love, as always, and thank you for your continued support of the channel. We've just broken another channel record. Yesterday I mentioned it was 7.3 million views, now 7.6 million views over the last 28 days, and we cannot thank you enough. Again, if you want to come to any of our live shows, there's a link to all of them in the description of this video. Cork and our 2 Liverpool shows are all there. And until this evening, my friends, have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. We'll take care. Bye-bye.